Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to my vlog about football in general and Burnley FC in particular. A vlog that this week is going to do something a little bit different, I think. If this one is going to be a little different, if you are expecting analysis or comment or anything to do with the last 3 or 4 games, this is not going to happen in this vlog. This vlog is going to be about Burnley and kind of not. It's going to be about football and kind of not. So if you're looking for any dry analysis or anything like that, there are other excellent Burnley vlogs and podcasts available. Don't want to set any. I want to set expectations right from the start. Second, it's going to cover a couple of subjects which may well be trigger warnings. It's going to possibly trigger feelings, because I'm going to talk a little bit about, just very briefly, about serious illness and about death. You're probably wondering where this is going. Trust me, you know. And also, this vlog is a personal one. Now, when I first started doing Out of My Tiny Mind, I had ideas of what it should be and what it would not be. It would not be an analysis show in the way that other vlogs are. It would not be summaries of going to a game with match clips and journeys and all that kind of thing in a way that other ones are. It was always intended to be me talking to a camera about whatever comes into my head. If you've watched Out of My Tiny Mind enough, you will see me use the phrase that there is an audience for this, and the audience is one. And that audience is me. I'm so grateful for the subscribers I have and the viewers I have. You guys, girls, have come along. You watch it, you give me support, you give me great comments. I am eternally grateful for it. But I try not to make that influence what I do, because the point is you come to watch something because you like what it is. And actually what's quite hard is to keep doing that thing without changing it in order to satisfy your audience rather than satisfy yourself, which is why the audience kind of came along for the ride in the first place. And one of the things I've always tried to do with Out of My Tiny Mind is kind of talk about how it feels to be a fan, about how the process of going to matches, watching matches, being at matches makes you feel. And that's why it's kind of different from, or hopefully different from, most other vlogs. This might be to some people a bit personal and self-indulgent, but I've said this is done for an audience of one. If you think this is self-indulgent, well, you know, it's a vlog. You know, people used to write diaries and put them in the drawer. Nowadays, you write a blog or you record a blog, you put it on YouTube. It's just the modern world. People may turn around and go, why are you putting some of these thoughts and feelings out into the internet as a whole? Well, first off, my vlog, my rules. Second off, you know, it's about, you know, there's enough kind of stories of people not being open, especially men, especially middle-aged men like myself, who don't put their feelings out and express their feelings, and that is a bad thing. So, disclaimer's over. There was a kind of thought that occurred to me over the past couple of weeks about Burnley FC, my relationship to Burnley FC, and also fans' relationship to Burnley FC, other fans, and other fans' relationship to their club. I've spoken before about words and descriptions that summarise things. And my relationship with Burnley FC started when I was 17. It is the longest relationship with a thing that I have in my life. And it will likely be the longest relationship I ever have. It has been that constant since I've been 17. And it is that place that I go to every couple of weeks. It is that thing that I follow, is that thing that I focus on. You know, you've got work, you've got relationships, you've got friends, you've got family. But the one constant for the last 30 odd years of my life has been Burnley FC. And for me, and for the thousands of Burnley fans who go, the club, the game, the stadium is an anchor. It is a place that is an anchor in their life, that their life is tied to, emotionally, physically, whatever. I kind of I've had a lot of time to think recently, and I had this vision kind of in my head of, you imagine a map, and you imagine people travelling, a little dot on a map, on a Saturday or wherever, travelling from wherever they are on the map. You see all these dots converging on a place on Turf Moor on a Saturday, and then going back. And if you kind of trace enough dots, you trace enough on the map, and you see all the dots converging in one place and then going back, and then you do it again, so 2 weeks later, converging in one place and going back. And I wish I had the data visualization skills to do this, but the dots going in, coming back, coming in, coming back. It's kind of like a heartbeat. And it's an anchor. It's an anchor for thousands, including myself. Now, a couple of weeks ago I did the vlog about the Liverpool game. It was a short one, it was a fun one, it got lots of feedback, it was a popular one, and it was a good one, I think. What was happening at the time, actually, which was a bit weird, but you can't see it if you go back and watch it, is I was struggling with, I'd been prescribed some medication, short-term medication, tiny amount of medication for a week, and one of the side effects was kind of hiccups. And you can see it in that video, by the way. You can see that I'm struggling. And hiccups are quite funny. But hiccups stop being funny when you're suffering from them for about 3.5 hours, and they're getting rapidly more and more violent. So, you imagine being violent hiccups every 3 seconds for about 4 hours. Stops being funny. Well, the hiccups were an indicator, a symptom of my body rejecting the medication. I had a severe adverse reaction to the medication, which I ended up in hospital with. So here's the situation. I'm in hospital. I'm hooked up. This is the first hospital visit overnight I've had in 30 years. And I'm hooked up to IV and all that kind of stuff. And then on the Saturday afternoon, I managed to put my headphones in for the phone, and I listened to the Forest game. And I couldn't tell you much about it. I think I even fell asleep during it, which has nothing to do with the game, nothing to do with the commentary, just, that's the situation. But I had my 2 hours with Burnley Football Club. And then first part of it goes over in terms of the reaction, and then we're dealing with the recovery. The recovery is a struggle. A whole bunch of stuff going on inside, which not good. When I say not good, worse than we kind of figured at the time. And then on Tuesday night, headphones in, listen to the Cardiff match. For everything else, Tuesday night, listen to the Cardiff match. Recovery carries on, and I am getting better. I am at home, and I'm home to recover. I'm by no means fit and healthy. I'm no means, right and fit as a fiddle. I'm not. But I get home the next day, close relative dies. And amid all the emotions and all the turmoil and all the what the fuck, yesterday afternoon, go in the garden, put the headphones in, listen to the City game. I talked about Burnley being an anchor in life, or the football club, your football club being an anchor in your life. And what I realised for the past week and a bit was that Burnley, for me, was a life raft. It was something that I needed to cling on to when everything else was going wrong, the one constant. And that's kind of a weird thing to say about what is, and I've used this phrase before, it's not mine, football, which is the most important, least important thing in the world. It's 11 people running around a grass kicking a ball against each other. Yet, for me, for hopefully you, for millions and millions of people, it's more than that. It's an anchor and it's a life raft. The sense of belonging that you have becomes something that you cling on to when you need to. The sense of place, Turf Moor is a special place. We use words like, church and, community and all that kind of stuff, but it really kind of is to the people who go, and in times when you need it, it becomes something else. It becomes something else. It becomes the place where you grasp onto. Just for a little bit of normality. Just for a little bit of the usual. And that's a weird thing when you kind of realise it, when you think about it. Because, as I say, football is just stupid, ultimately. And I think this is why, and I'm not talking about the kind of fake support my team till I, through no matter what kind of support. I'm not talking about that. I think this is something, I'm talking about something fundamentally different. When fans are concerned about their club, for example, a Sheffield Wednesday, or to bring it to a Burnley perspective, ALK, full disclaimer, I've kind of met the people at ALK a few years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago. I was a guest of at a match in the Premier League. I was a guest of Alan Pace. That's full disclaimer. But ALK, the way they've taken over the club in terms of the financial engineering that's going on, there is risk involved. There is a lot of debt. I do believe that they mean well. I do believe they try to do the right thing. But there is that worry that if it goes wrong, that the club is in danger. And it's not about a business going bust. And I'm not talking that this is going to happen, by the way. I'm saying just theoretically. It's not about a business that goes bust. It's not about a football club that goes bust. It's about people losing their anchor and their life raft. And I think that's kind of why sometimes people comment in such a way that is not over the top. Maybe over the top in comparison to their current situation, but is not over the top in the general concept of things, because the relationship they have with the football club has been formed at an incredibly early age, maybe, and has been that constant through life, friends, family, marriage, maybe divorce, maybe death. Still there. Every 2 weeks, Saturday, 3 o'clock, Turf Moor. And that's kind of why I think also people rail so much about the Premier League, including myself. Every time we're dealing with a VAR, every time we're dealing with what is something that is a business decision and not a football decision, a little bit of that burns away. A little bit of that connection of the anchor gets kind of chipped away, and you feel it. I mean, let's talk about ALK. I think what's kind of, I'm guessing here, but I'm not sure that the guys who form ALK kind of realised what they were getting themselves into. Because in the 5 years now, since they've come over on the club, there will be relationships. If I remember rightly, Alan Pace's daughter got married. They've had a child. That's all happened here. It's all happened because of Burnley. Their link, their anchor, has been formed. They are one of those that, whatever happens, there will always be that line that goes from wherever they are to Turf Moor. And I think, yeah, like I say, it's kind of that fear of losing that informs a lot of fan discussion. It's not discussion for the sake of discussion. And I'm not talking about moaning for the sake of moaning over tactics or anything like that. I think, it's ultimately when people get angry at most things in football, it's angry at most things in football. But there are certain things that happen. You look at, say, a Sheffield Wednesday, a Bury, and you kind of comment on that knowing that could be us. And what the hell happens if it is? No matter how minuscule and how tiny the chance is, you might lose your anchor. You might lose that place. Because going to Turf Moor every 2 weeks is a special thing, It's a place. It's a place where you could walk to it blindfolded. You would do the thing. It's a place where everybody gravitates towards their anchor, pulls them towards it. It's a special place, And I don't mean it's a special place in any significant thing. It's just a special place because of what it means to people, not what has happened there. What has happened there is people have run around a patch of grass and kicked a ball. But what it means to people like me and you, maybe, and other fans, like I say, other fans with their clubs and their stadium, is a constant. A thing in a world that is changing, for better, for worse, right now, for the worse. But there is a constant to cling on to. And that's it is clinging on to. And for 10 days or so, I was clinging on. I want to say this, I don't want sympathy comments, I don't want anything like that. I appreciate the thought, but don't do the gesture. The thought is enough. I genuinely, it's about, I'm a lucky guy in a million different ways, and I genuinely mean that. There is luck, there is skill. I'm a lucky guy, and I'll be okay. I'll be fine. Not be great not feel great for a couple of weeks, but that's life. But yeah, that's kind of the point of this one. The point is to, your relationship. I've had a lot of time to think, I say, and your relationship with the club is kind of surprising when you think about it. And it's not about football, ultimately. Because I keep saying, said it so many times in this one, football's a stupid game that means nothing. But Burnley Football Club means everything. Really, when it comes down to it, means everything. And it's not because of football. And that is a very odd thing. And I'm not sure, and thank you for your indulging of me on this one. Thank you for, if you've made it this far, tolerating an idiot try to get a thought out of his head in order to deal with some shit that's just been happening. Thank you for that. I genuinely appreciate it. I'd be interested to kind of see your comments on it as well, am I right? Am I, or is it just airy-fairy bollocks? But I'm putting it out there because it's good to put things out there as an idea. It's good to be open, because bottling things up under times of stress is the worst thing you can do. So partly I decided this is my way of dealing with the stress. And I thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart for tolerating it and making it this far, if you did. There's no point to, there's no final, here's Jerry's closing statement or anything like that. It's just, this one is about anchors that turn into life rafts. Hell of a metaphor, really. Till next time, hope the clarets.